Join me on DraftKings. Go to Dr. T23.site. That is DRT23.site. Go ahead and click join me on DraftKings and get your $200 bonus bet when you bet $5 instantly on DraftKings Sportsbook money lines, totals, and same game parlays. DraftKings has the action. On this week's episode of A Win is a Win, well, it is time to talk about these rookies. Yes, a lot of rookies have been stepping in and showing out. We'll touch base on that. And of course, as always, the NC2A has successfully pissed off the entire college football fandom. We'll dive really deep into college football playoffs. And lastly, are the NFL league owners scrambling to find quarterbacks? It's time for a win is a win, y'all. Let's go.
It's time for the Rookie Rundown.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Well, we have a lot to unpack, but before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast and tell somebody to join and tell somebody else to join a Win is a Win family. And don't forget, get your necessary notifications. You got to hit that bell up top. Atlanta Falcons have decided finally to utilize their first round pick. Bijan Robinson carried the ball 16 times, coming away with 91 rushing yards, scoring on a deep wheel route to the end zone, refusing to stick with him over usage concerns. Well, they may now understand the obvious. Bijan has a talent to carry the team. So what do you think? Will the Falcons sneak into the postseason? We will see. Getting involved a little more on the offense, Rashee Rice is really showing up for the Chiefs. Yes, the wideout rookie is getting an increased role each and every week. Now, Mahomes seems to trust him a little bit more and is developing a relationship. Rice put up 107 total yards, 8 passes, including a 40-yard touchdown. Now, with their wide receiver issues, do you think the Chiefs should feature Rashee Rice a bit more? We will also check that out. Keep an eye on what's going on with the Chiefs. Interesting situation in New York Giants locker room, but it's a positive, not a negative. Rookie cornerback Deonte Banks is morphing into a lockdown player. Yep. Allowing a passer rating of 78 through the entire season. This past weekend, he snagged his second interception with his 10th deflection, putting up some good numbers. Now, even though it's been a tough year for the Giants, is Banks proving he is a worthy pick? We also will see about that. So again, I watched the last couple of weeks in NFL, and all across the board, the rookies are stepping up and taking an actionable place on the field, not only to say that, hey, you made a good pick and we belong here, but however, they are filling in the gaps where veteran players are getting hurt. Campus Gridiron up next.
Let's see what's up with our Campus Gridiron.
If you are a college football fan, pretty sure your bottles of Tylenol or ibuprofen or Excedrin migraine are depleted. My brain can't understand the college football rankings at all. Could all be so simple. Better yet, the greatest mess the sport has ever seen. With college football playoffs around the corner, it is a true shame only 4 teams will make it in. Now, Bulldogs are a lock if they can hold off Bama, but could still sneak in with a loss. Harbaugh's Wolverines appear poised to solidify the second spot, leaving the last two wide open. Maybe a multi team race with Florida State, Texas, Washington, and Oregon. College football is a migraines aggravating next door neighbor. And we know that aggravating next door neighbor who just does every single thing they can to piss you off. The love hate relationship is all too real. Nonetheless, this weekend of football action will be perhaps the best of the season. And I'm not just salty, and I promise, because my Buckeyes didn't get in. Sports news up next.
Let's get into the sports news.
A forgotten about reunion. Well, what is that? You may ask, Tiffany. Well, I'll tell you. The Cardinals versus the Steelers, making it James Conner's first game back in Pittsburgh. Now, this is set to be an emotional game, and Coach Tomlin said he expects nothing but the best. Now, I will say, in my mind, there probably will be a little bit of adversity because of the weather for the Cardinals. Could be a little tough to play in a very cold Pittsburgh Steelers stadium. But I think in my mind, Cardinals will pull off an upset and put those terrible towels down, at least for now. Other positive news, well, if you're a Charger fan, LA Chargers fans expect Staley to be fired soon. Although reports don't give an ETA, it can be damaging if it doesn't happen soon. His specialty is calling defensive plays, and well, we know their defense isn't especially good. So if not now, will he definitely be gone by the end of the season, or will the organization hold on to Staley for next season? I highly doubt it, but there hasn't been any reports to say for sure that he's gone. And in my opinion, he should have been gone weeks ago. Over in Carolina, the Frank experiment didn't age well for the Panthers. Panthers organization decided to can him and trash a lot of other coaches in the process. Following their 11th loss, and we all know Tepper will fire you if you blink wrong or bleed too much or breathe too loudly. Nonetheless, the team is standing strong behind their QB, Bryce Young. Now, interesting what will happen in the offseason with the Panthers, and we will see. Tepper will probably have his hand in everything like he does. Get another pick for a coach, probably midway or halfway through the season, or a quarter of a way or 3/4 of the way. The coach will hold his card up to his mouth the wrong way. His microphone may not be adjusted just right, or he may not walk up and down the sideline the way that Tepper feels, and they'll be fired. However, we will see. Injury report up next. Hold on, guys. Now it's time for sounding off with Tip. No, I didn't forget. Listen, there is enough room, enough money, enough players for everyone. Yes, I am talking about the Big Three versus the NBA. Recently, the National Basketball Association has been investigated by the feds for, let me read them so that we can be clear, pressuring its owners, players, advertisers, and partner multi-billion television networks not to do business with Ice Cube's Big Three. Now, the Justice Department's Antitrust Division is looking into claims, of course, raised by the Big Three's organization, which is, if you didn't know, it's basically a 3-on-3 basketball league that largely features retired NBA players. Now, when you talk about what impact the Big Three has had during the off season, it's pretty significant. I mean, right now, okay, let's look at it like this. So far, I believe the only current NBA player is Jalen Brown, of course, of the Celtics, that has taken part in the game last summer. Now, what I truly like about the Big Three is not only seeing retired players come back, but you have NBA legends such as Julius Irving, Gary Payton, Rick Barry. I can just keep going on and on. You have former NBAers like Rashard Lewis who are just coming back to play and be a part of the sport. I mean, if you know sports like I do, this isn't just something that came up with the NBA. Two minor league baseball teams have asked the Supreme Court to strike down a Major League Baseball rule that says sweeping immunity that has shielded the MLB from antitrust liability for more than a century. Basically, minor league baseball teams like Tri-City, what are they called? The Valley Cats and the Sea Unicorns, or I believe that's what their names are. This, they had the same issue. It's not new. And they filed legal challenge in September in a bid to revive their claims against professional baseball. Now, to flip back to basketball, Adam Silver has not allowed any owner to invest in the Big Three. Now, the Department of Justice has also been investigating many, many, many different claims that Adam Silver is acting out against the Big Three because of the amount of money that it is pulling in. It is a tournament that keeps people interested in basketball during the off season. Well, let's put two and two together because the last time I checked, two and two equals four, not two and two equals 16 or 18. Here's my point. All of a sudden, if you remember, I talked about the NBA tournament. Now we have an NBA tournament, in season tournament, and in my opinion, to directly compete with the Big Three. There's no other reason other than shorten the NBA season. That wouldn't be such a bad thing. The NBA season is long and the off season is even longer. And with failing views, with failing attendance at National Basketball Association games, guys, just look at the TV. Your front rows were your celebrities, second rows, third rows, and then just do a panoramic shot, a wide out shot of the whole arena. Listen, there aren't a lot of people attending these games. The NBA is in violation of the antitrust law if proven. And they could face, I mean, to me, in my mind, the fines will be more significant than if you just allow what naturally is being asked. Owners want to invest. They want to have something for their players to do in the off season. They even probably want selfishly to make a little bit of money themselves. However, the Justice Department will not comment. Of course, the only people who have commented directly have been the big three. NBA hasn't officially commented, but Mike Bass, who's a spokesperson of the NBA, says that the antitrust violations are not true. We have been supportive of the big three since its inception, but we decline to invest. That is a lie, Mike, because when the big three initially started, Adam Silver, who now is trying to pedal backwards instead of double downing on what he said, was he was out of his mind when he was asked about what he thought about the off-season tournament. You cannot tell me Adam Silver wastes no time ensuring that there is no direct competition. I mean, even in some instances, you have players who run their own programs in the off season, and he likes to get his hands into that. Well, in my opinion, Adam Silver, sometimes it's just best if you utilize your time in the off season. And like you said, you want to see something that's productive. Well, guess what? Perhaps you should be more productive in finding a warm tropical area, a beach, somewhere where all of the money that these NBA players are making, the arenas that are pulling in dollars and cents, that in some 360 way pays your salary, where you can afford to go and get a suntan and work on the appearance of yourself and stop working on the appearance of what another organization is trying to put together. Looking at you is like looking at a white sheet of paper with a whole bunch of writing on there in invisible ink. No one can ever see what it is that you're trying to say, and no one can ever see your point. When you have greats like Julius Irving, who are on the sideline coaching your current players, who are saying, guys, hey, why can't we play? You're putting a pigeonhole on your players, your owners who want to get out and have something else to do that is positive during the off season. And you can just stand there with your neatly pressed men in black suit with your Casper the Friendly Ghost face and say, if you do it, then we're going to fire you. If you do it, we won't do any business with you. NBC, ABC, CBS. Slavery is over. You don't get to control the narrative and chain people to your front porch and say, It doesn't work like that. Bottom line, NBA needs to get it together. Want to get started on your weight loss journey? We all do. Well, we know weight loss can be difficult, but medical advancements have created an absolute game changer. Yes, semaglutide is a once a week shot that can lower your A1C, curb your appetite, craving, slow digestion, and can help you feel full sooner and longer. How do you sign up? Go to DrT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Go ahead and click semaglutide, get signed up for your weight loss goals.
Who's hurt? Who's ready to go? Time for the injury report.
In some positive injury news, Justin Jefferson of the Vikings is officially back. Now, Justin was expected to play this past weekend, but was ruled out at the last minute. I don't think he was 100% healthy, and that's okay. However, He's been fully cleared to go this weekend against the Raiders after the Vikings laid an egg against the Bears on Monday night. Now, in disappointing news, the Colts lost running back Jonathan Taylor for the next couple of weeks as he undergoes surgery on his thumb, and he sustained that injury during the Colts win over the Bucks, yet still went on to score multiple touchdowns and rushed for 91 yards on that same day. Now, when he gets back, the Colts will hopefully remain in the AFC playoff picture. Going over there to Cincinnati, the Bengals heard some positive news when it came to Burrow. Now, Burrow underwent successful surgery on his wrist, and he's going to be rejoining the team at some point in the upcoming week while he attacks the rehab, which can be pretty painful but necessary. He's still out for the remainder of the season, but this is the best news I would imagine that the organization could hear. So, lots more injuries around the league, obviously, but these are the ones that are the most um, promising and disappointing. So, hopefully, the Colts can stay in the hunt for an AFC playoff spot. And it seems as though, and I'm just saying, and I am not a Bengals fan, but however, it seems that they may have found a reliable backup because Browning definitely is trying to show something here. All right, Betmaster's up next.
It's a bet. Time for Bet Masters.
One game that I love right now is the Lions against the Saints. Not because it's going to be a close game, but more so because it seems to be a surefire bet on who might win the game. The Lions just got embarrassed on Thanksgiving by the Packers, and it feels like they're due for another dominant performance. And just their luck, because they face the Saints team that has underperformed yet again in 2023, scoring 15 total points on all field goals despite racking up over 300 yards of offense. The Lions should take the W. Next game that I'm interested in is the Panthers going up against the Bucks. Now, you never know what you might get in a divisional rivalry, yet it does feel like this one could be one-sided rather quickly. Neither team has been very good, though the Panthers just fired half their coaching staff. Meanwhile, the Bucks lost another close game where their roster underperformed slightly on the offensive end. I like the Bucks to win this game by a close margin. Finally, we should talk about the Dolphins taking on the Washington Commanders. I feel like we all have an understanding of where this game might go. The Dolphins are clearly the better team in all areas of the game and should be able to completely dismantle Washington as it goes on. Miami could likely keep it interesting if their offense performs well. Sometimes I feel like their offense is here and there, but I will take Miami straight up on the money line. All right, in the post NBA coming up next. Diving into some NBA action really quickly. The league is still in the middle of their play-in tournament, and it's gotten a lot of players around the league excited about the cash bonus at the end. And it also has players focusing on how many points they score in every game they play. Not to mention that a few teams have really come out of their shell lately since it began with the Orlando Magic ripping off consecutive victories to suddenly find themselves near the top of the Eastern Conference. Now, with the play-in tournament nearing a conclusion soon, the competition is surely to heat up with a good prize on the line. I am seeing that the teams, some of them are playing better for the tournament than they are playing in their regular season games. Let's take a look at the Lakers at the top of the in-season tournament play, but they are not playing their best ball at all whatsoever during their regular season games. So it's interesting to see how this will all play out on the road to Vegas. And the question in my mind is, it's 500,000 the last time I checked. And so where is the money going? To the team to divide, to the organization to put back into different community events. I'm unsure. Interesting enough, we shall see. That's going to do it for this week's episode of A Win is a Win. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to tell somebody else to join. A Win is a Win.